Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, Vajra Sattva. Sumo. Tanzan Katso, Tutan City. All masters, Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples, and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do?
Hola amigo, que quiero mucho. Sukoin, Ichiba, Kimochi, Jumi, Yabi, Brin Brin. Konnichiwa.
Now I would like to announce for next Sunday, February 27th, February is almost ending, at 3 p.m. This is a deity that you're all very familiar with. It's the hiking Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. We chant it every day. We chant the hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. We chant it every day. I chant it every day, never skip any day. This hiking Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva has the closest affinity with Grandmaster. When I just encountered Golden Mother at Taichung, the abbot there, the Venerable Si Huiling, gave me a sutra, and that was the hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. And when I read it, I was extremely joyful, and I started to chant. And from then on, I have very close affinity with hiking Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And then I went to San Yi, a place at Miaoli. They have lots of Buddhist statues there of different Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And when I visited San Yi, I saw a statue of the hiking Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Very magnificent. And immediately I brought the hiking Kuan Yin Bodhisattva statue home. And this image here is wearing crown. And on her outfit, there are many mantra syllables. And one of them is the karma eradication mantra of the 7 Buddhas. That's the 7 Buddhas karma eradication mantra. And hiking Kuan Yin Sutra is not long, very easy to chant. And in it, there's the statement that it can eradicate the suffering of life and death, and to eradicate all sorts of harms and so for spiritual cultivators, most importantly is to eradicate the suffering of life and death and to eliminate all sorts of harms. So after chanting the hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, I don't suffer from any disasters. Even if there is a catastrophe, it becomes none. So all harms and poisons are eradicated. Any one of you that chants every day? Every one of you? That's incredible. There's someone that's only chanting the Padmakumara Hat mantra and hiking Kuan Yin Sutra and can be reborn into the Pure Land. That's all they do. 2 things. One is chanting the Padmakumara mantra, and second is to chant the hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. Every day. And upon cremation, there are many sariras. And it's not tiny sariras. Like the rentan, like tiny elixirs. But it's huge, this big. It's called Vajra sariras. That's our translator's Hanifa. Thanks to her for interpreting and translating for so many years. And nobody cannot say offering, but as a translator or interpreter for so many years, and her father and mother just chant hiking Kuan Yin Sutra and Padmakumara mantra, and they got Vajra Sariras upon cremation and be reborn in the Pure Land. Very grateful. So it would be a pity if you don't become primary supplicants for this deity, Amitabha. And today we practice the Vajrasattva, and this deity is the 7th Vajra holder of Vajradhara. Adharma Buddha is the first Vajradhara. The 5 Dhyani Buddhas are the 5 Vajradharas. And he's the Dharma Prince of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, so he's the 7th Vajradhara. And the lineage root guru is the 8th Vajradhara. And in the future, the lineage master that have attainments would be the 9th Vajradharas. That's the lineage. So Vajrasattva is the Dharma prince of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. He's the founder or the chief of the Tantric Buddhism. Vajrasattva. In the Sutric Buddhism, there is no Vajrasattva. However, they believe that Samantabhadra Bodhisattva is Vajrasattva, or Mahastama Prapta. Some people record Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva as Vajrasattva. Talking about Dharma princes, the Avatamsaka Trinity, Sakyamuni Buddha, Manjushri Bodhisattva, and Samantabhadra Bodhisattvas. They are the Dharma princes. So Avatamsaka Trinity under Sakyamuni Buddha are Manjushri and Samantabhadra Bodhisattvas, and they are the Dharma princes. In the Western Lotus Division's Trinity, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva are the Dharma princes. In Tantric Buddhism, the Dharma prince of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas is Vajrasattva. So he's the founder of Tantric Buddhism. And he's the most important yidam, or deity for repentance. And True Buddha School has this purifying Dharma practice. We have a huge broom, this is medium, and this is the small size. And you chant the mantra of Vajrasattva 100,000 times to bless the brooms. Then they would have a kind of tantric dharma to eradicate karma. So it's also repentance, purifying calamities, eradicating calamities, purifying karma. A very important brooms. It's best that you bring small brooms wherever you go, and you can sweep it anywhere, anytime. So any brooms that have been blessed after chanting 100,000 times of Vajrasattva mantra would generate power for purification. With the first sweep, afflictions are gone. With the second sweep, the bad lucks disappear. With the third sweep, the karma is eradicated. Yidam and great fortune will come. Om Beja Sato Hom. Only True Buddha School has this method of Dharma. So these brooms are not to sweep the floor, but to sweep the bodies, to sweep your own bodies. Typically it's on the back, but you can also sweep your face or your neck or hands, all fine. Or here too, the armpit. And after being swept, it would be clean, right? So these things at your spiritual centers, or if it's placed on an altar, we'll call the altar the purifying altar, or repurification, repentance, and to increase your own blessings and to sweep away your own bad lucks. It's very effective, beneficial. Let me share a joke. There's a woman that wants to get married, but her boyfriend is not Buddhist, so her parents disapprove. But the man really likes the girl, so he listens to her and started to study Buddhism. And hoping that her parents would approve. And after a while, the girl's parents asked about the guy. And the girl said, yeah, he is a follower of Buddhism now. And the parents are very moved and pleased. Now you can get ready to get married. But the daughter said, cried, shed her tears, and said, but he really have gone deep into it, and now he's become a monk. So sometimes your plan does not go accordingly. There are two hens chatting under the tree, and there's a rooster walking by and looks very tired and drooping. And then the hens asked, what's going on? And then the rooster said, oh, I'm just doing a small business, selling a small thing, and this is what happens. So what are you selling? This is also Chinese. Chicken essence. It's a play of word. It also means the chicken essence, semen. A joke about chicken. Early morning, the rooster beats the hen, and then all the other chickens said, this is early morning, what's going on? Why did you beat her so bad? What's going on? Why? Because the rooster said, oh, because she laid a duck's egg. She laid a duck's egg. So things in the world sometimes is beyond our schemes. Now we're doing the question and answer from Malaysia. First question. If our yidam or main meditational deity is that from the heavenly realms, such as Indra, the four heavenly kings, Brahma, and not Buddhas or Bodhisattvas, Pratyeka Buddhas or Sravakas, does it mean that all one can reach is the fruition of the heaven, that after death, as far as we can go, is just the heavens? This is a good question, because typically we follow our yidams. When we die, relying on others' power. But if you practice and can rely on your own power, then you can go wherever you want. But if you practice and have gained spiritual union with the Yidam, say Amitabha Buddha, and you rely on the power of others, Amitabha Buddha will bring you to Sukhavati. Or if you gain spiritual union with Padma Kumara, he can also bring you to Sukhavati. Or if you gain spiritual union with Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, all the same, she can bring you to Sukhavati or the Pure Land or Buddha Land. It depends which Yidam you're in union with. So Manjushri Bodhisattva, Samantabhadra, Siddhigarbha, they have their own Pure Lands or Buddha lands. So the Yidam belongs to the heavenly realms like Indra, Brahma, the 4 heavenly kings. And if you have fruition, have gained spiritual union with Indra, then you would go to the center of the Triyatrimsa's heaven. If you practice the wealth deity, then you would go to the 4 heavenly kings, the heavens of the 4 heavenly kings. If you gain spiritual union with Brahma, Mahabrahma, then you're in union with the Brahma, then you would go to the heavens of Mahabrahma. And in that heaven, there are 100 kalpas, and one kalpa is 100 million years. And you can stay there for 10 trillion years. That's very long at the Brahma heaven. We know there is a verse. The lotus youth meets the golden sage. The showers of blossoms swirling left and right. The marvelous sound heard above the clouds. Talking about the Buddha lands beyond all the heavens. So the Buddha lands are beyond the heavens. Of course, if you're in union with Brahma, then it's possible you go to the Brahma heaven. Or if you gain spiritual union with the 4 heavenly kings, then you go to the heavens of the 4 heavenly kings, or the heavens of Indra. So that's also very good, because it's much better than the human realm. That's a great difference. So if you can go to the heavenly realms and cultivate spiritual, that's still very good. If you have practice or you have gained fruition from your Yidam practice, and then you continue to practice to generate your own power, then you can go wherever you want. As I said, you follow your own chi channels and light drops. Although your Yidam is the 4 heavenly kings, but you also practice the chi light drops and channels, and you have fruition or attainments in those inner practices, you can go wherever you want. That's the answer to the first question from Lianhua Yi Jing. Although I am a Buddhist, but I really worship Maria and Jesus. So, although I'm a Buddhist, so can I enshrine Maria and Jesus? Yes, of course. Because as far as I know, the Mary I may it not be right for me to say this, but the 33 physical emanation of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, it's who knows? It's very hard to say, but perhaps Mother Mary was also Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. You know, there was a long period of time that Jesus disappeared, no records of him. He was the son of a carpenter. And he wore white robe, and he wore either white or this color, this llama color, maroon color. And he just like put it like a shawl, like this, and also slanted like this. Only Buddhists wear it that way. But what we wear today, this is an improvised one, designed by Simu. But the robe that was worn in the ancient Buddhists, by the ancient Buddhists, and also like by the Theravada monks, it's like that. The same with Jesus. So where did he go? He went to the Himalayas and met gurus from the white sect and red sect, Nyingma and Kagyupa. Of course, it would be fine if you like Jesus Christ. And there are many teachings of Jesus that are very similar to Buddhist concepts. However, he was just talking about the vehicle to go to heavens, which is the heavenly realms of Indra, Brahma, or the 4 heavenly kings, because he only taught for 3 years. So Mother Mary or Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, you can enshrine them. I don't discriminate against any of them. And like Islam, there are many concepts of the Bible that's also in the Quran, in the Al-Quran. It's also very proper and correct. The Virgin Mary, oh Mother. So that's why I said, sure. And the third question is, does a country have a protector for the country? Which country are you talking about? As I said, my ancestors come from China, the Fujian province, Zhangzhou county, Huanyang city. My great-grandfather is Lu Dejie, is a native of Huanyang. And the Lu clan family shrine is at the Huanyang in Fujian province. And some disciples went to the city of Huanyang, and following what I wrote in my book, and went to the Lu family shrine, and they wrote a prayer and asked a reverend and reported that and burned the prayer and to pray to the ancestors on my behalf. So I'm very thankful to them that they went there to the family shrine, the ancestors' shrine, to pray to my ancestors on my behalf. I have never even been there, but they found it. And then from the Lu family clan, there are 2 presidents. The Korean presidents Lu Tai-yi and Lu Wu-hsien. They all came from the Lu family clan of Huanyang City. So they discovered that these Korean presidents were from this Lu clan. There was another one that's very famous called Lu Zi. Lu Zi. That became a prime minister, a chancellor. In the Confucius there is this name Lu Zi. When they have at the Confucius temple, so I have several ancestors that are very famous. So I believe that yes, each country would have its own protector. So even a small village has its protector, an earth god. So of course a country has their own protector. So the Rainbow Temple, the Rainbow Villa has the earth god as the protector god. So even the local place has protectors more over a country. And the city, there's a county, and the city god would be the protector for that county. And then the higher, it's like a provincial city god that would protect the whole area. So here, let me offer my gratitude to our disciples who went to Huanyang city of Fujian province in China and went to the Lu family clan and especially wrote a prayer that stated that Grandmaster Lu, Sung Yen Lu, came back to pray to the ancestors. Thank you. So Korean also originated from China, and Japan, Vietnam, and many other countries. So the Chinese are all over the world. They are Chinatown everywhere. Asked from Lianhua Chen Xiuqing from Indonesia. The respected Grandmaster and Sumo Amitabha. To be compassionate and to deliver more sentient beings, you transmitted the Dharma practice of Vajrasattva, purifying brooms and purifying mantra. So there are 2 sets of them. I wish that everyone would have at least 1 set. She has 2 sets. I'm at my old age and getting ready for my death. So, may I ask, after completing 100,000 recitation of the Vajrasattva 100 syllable mantra, can I have the broom in my casket to accompany my cremation? Sure. If you like it, sure. I strongly believe that the purifying broom has received Grandmaster's blessing, and I have also received the remote empowerment for it. And at the same time, I'm also practicing the 4 preliminary practices and always chant mantra. So the broom has received 3 kinds of blessings. So it can eliminate all kinds of hindrances, including karmic hindrances, during my death to protect me. Is this correct? Sure, no problem. In the future, you carry this broom with you. If there is a bad person, bad spirit, or negative spirit trying to get you somewhere, you just sweep it. With the sweep, afflictions gone. The second sweep, bad luck disappear, and with the third sweep, karma is eradicated. And when karma is eradicated, all those things would disappear. All those bad things would be swept clean. And there's only one path left, which is the completely bright, brilliant path leading to the Pure Land. Our Troubadour's goal in the future. Anyone leaving the world should carry a broom with them. That's very good. And it would help you strip clean your path. Anything bad appearing, you can just sweep them away. The woman said, "Hubby, honey, I'm hungry. I want to eat." And the husband said, "What do you want to eat? Let me make it for you." And the wife said, "But you don't cook well." And the man said, "Okay, let's eat out then." And the wife said, "Oh, I don't feel like going anywhere." And then the man said, "Let me just call for delivery." And then she said, maybe not so healthy. And then the husband said, "Well, maybe let me just go grab something." And the woman said, "It'll be cold by the time it gets home. It will not be good for the stomach." Then what do you want? And the woman said, "I'm hungry, I want to eat." You know, man becomes crazy because of this kinds of woman, you know. Doesn't matter. Nothing works. It doesn't matter what you do, she's not satisfied. So when men become crazy, if they don't, that would be strange. An employee of the zoo was fired, and he complained to his wife. And he said, "Hey, honey, I was fired just for small little things. So what did you do?" And the husband said, yesterday I forgot to lock the door to the cage of the tiger. But come on, who dares steal the tiger, right? So that's his excuse or rationale, but actually it's irrational. When I was little, I thought the poo is in the buds. And then after I study, then I know that it's actually in the guts. And then when I start working, I discovered that some people keep the poo in the brain. Doesn't matter what you say, they just don't get it. Those who have shit in their brain, it doesn't matter what you say, it just doesn't work. What you should do then? In that case, maybe just go Jimmy. Last night when I got home and during my sleep, Golden Mother, Amitabha and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva were nagging to me. They said, what kind of Dharma did you teach last night? And it's the more you talk about it, the worse it gets, people. And then what should I do? Maybe I shouldn't say anything. And then Golden Mother, Amitabha and Siddhigarbha said, that's right, you should not say anything because it is unspeakable. They said it is unspeakable because you cannot talk about it, because you just continue to repeat those sentences back and forth, back and forth. It's impossible to clarify it. The more you talk about it, the more confusing it is. And then what should I do? Then if you don't talk about it, okay, let's finish off, get off. Then we'll just wait for dinner and watch the performances. Of course, this Dharma is to be spoken to those with the poo in the guts. But if the poo is in the brain, not only that they don't feel good listening to it, the Dharma is to be spoken to normal people. But those with poo in the brain, it's just impossible to reach out to them. So they told me to repeat it. No, world-honored one, as I understand it from the true meaning of the Buddha's teaching, the Buddha did not attain the Dharma of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi at Dipamkara Buddha's place. The Buddha said, just so, Subhuti, in reality there is no such thing as a Tathagata attaining Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Subhuti, if there is such a thing as the Tathagata attaining Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, then Dipamkara Buddha would not have prophesied, in your future life you will be a Buddha named Sakyamuni. There is no such thing as attaining Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Hence, Dipamkara Buddha endowed me with the prophecy. Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi is unspeakable, cannot be spoken. If I must explain it, then I can only use an analogy. Therefore, last night, Golden Mother, Amitabha, and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, my three yidams, told me the so-called Dharma is non-Dharma, because only non-Dharma is the true Dharma. So what kind of analogy they asked me to give? Just give yourself as an example, which I often do. Who am I? I'm Seng Yen Lu. So Seng Yen Lu is me and I am Seng Yen Lu. Okay. Of course you cannot dispute that. I am not piano master. I'm not Sakura Dharma educator. I'm Seng Yen Lu. So think about it. Seng Yen Lu is your name. But what is the real thing about you? You need to ask yourself, who are you? Seng Yen Lu is just a name. I am Seng Yen Lu. Seng Yen Lu is me. But in Taiwan alone, there are 16 Seng Yen Lu. So which one of them is the true you? There are 16 Seng Yen Lus, same name in Taiwan. So how can Seng Yen Lu is you then? It's just a name. Where is the real you? I'm asking you. You cannot find it. And the hair, sarira of Seng Yen Lu, it's gone. So I shave my hair every day and the hair is gone. And when people ask me for hair sarira, I cut the hair in my armpits. And it's all gone too by now. And then what should you do? There's some hair down there. It's okay. I cut a few. So you cut the hair from down there too. And so some people got Grandmaster's hair sarira and it's very curly. Because I have no more hair on my body. Caucasians have hair on their chests, on their back. And when you rub on it, it feels like a carpet. When the mosquitoes fly in, they got lost. When a fly wanted to sting and got to the chest and they got confused or got lost. But not for Chinese. Maybe just a few strands of hair. And we don't want to shave it. Just keep it. So Seng Yen Lu cannot be spoken. It's impossible to describe Seng Yen Lu. Then by saying this, that would be right. Because Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi cannot be put into words. It's impossible to talk about it exactly. Cannot pinpoint it. Nothing can symbolize it. Therefore, it cannot be spoken. And because you cannot speak on it. Dipankara Buddha cannot speak on it. Sakyamuni Buddha could not speak on it. And because both of them could not speak on it, that's why Dipankara Buddha gave the prophecy to Sakyamuni Buddha that you would become a Buddha named Sakyamuni in the future. Because they had the comprehension that was unspeakable. It's impossible to put into words. So last night, Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, Isiddhigarbha Bodhisattva told me those things is unspeakable, inexplicable, cannot be put into words because it is emptiness, it is infinite, infinity. So I asked, would explaining it this way work? But they said, you have to explain it this way. Only this would be correct. Other people won't explain it this way. They talk about precepts of meditation and wisdom, the 5 roots and 5 powers, the 4 mindfulness, the 4 diligence, the 37 qualities, the 12 links of causes and conditions, the 6 perfections are all impossible to explain this Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. All those are just just the means or the tools to attain the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. So, like a car, so the 4 noble truths are the 4 doors of a car, for example. And the 8 noble paths are the 8 chairs or seats. And the 6 perfections are like the 6 V. And then you combine the 4 noble truths, the 8 noble paths, and 6 perfections, and the 12 links of causes and conditions, all combined together, it would become a car. So, if you want to talk about, to make it concrete, that's what we would say. But if you want to talk about from the aspect of Buddha Dharma, then it's just unspeakable. It's impossible to put into words. So later on, Sakyamuni Buddha will talk about that the Dharma is like a raft, a boat that would bring you to the other shore. So it's not that Dharma is the shore of liberation. We cannot say the 4 noble truths, the 8 noble paths, and the 6 perfections are the shore of liberation. No, we cannot say that. Altogether, they're just a raft that will bring you so that you can attain the real Tao, or the way. That's called Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Now, do you understand? Subhuti, If there is such a thing as a Tathagata attaining non-Tava somebody, then Dipankara Buddha would not have prophesied in your future life you would be a Buddha named Sakyamuni. Someone may say, there is no such thing as attaining Anantara somebody, hence Dipankara Buddha endowed me with this prophecy. In your future life, you will be a Buddha named Sakyamuni. Why? A Tathagata upholds some notion of everything. And Subhuti, the Tathagata attained Anantara is neither real nor unreal. So it's not real, but it's also not unreal. That's how mystical it is. How can it be real and unreal, or neither real nor unreal? Like what Lao Tzu said, the Tao that can be spoken is not the real Tao. Tao cannot be spoken. It can be spoken, however, it's not the ordinary Tao. You cannot speak on the Tao. You can talk about it, but you also cannot talk about it. So therefore, it's neither real nor unreal. It is real. It seems to be real. However, it seems like they don't exist. They are not there. Therefore, the Tathagata said, all Dharma is Buddha Dharma. The Tathagata said, all Dharma, or everything, is Buddha Dharma. So, in the past, my disciple, the Zhang Chengji PhD, wrote a book entitled, What is Buddha Dharma? And when I went to visit Li Bingnan said, what this thread wrote is wrong. And I was thinking in my heart, hey, that's my disciple. I should have defended him. And Li Bingnan said, I want to ask him, what is Buddha Dharma? Zhang Chengji wrote, what is Buddha Dharma? What is Buddha Dharma? If you have read this book, please raise your hand. Zhang Chengji is your fellow disciple. He's a PhD. I went and gave a feng shui consultation to his house at the Bagua mountain in Zhanghua that was given by the government. So he's the son-in-law of Yu Ren, the then elder in Taiwan, but he did not like to be an official, government official. He liked Buddhism instead, Buddha Dharma. So he especially studied a Pure Land sect. So he wanted to ask, what is Buddha Dharma? And here the Buddha said, therefore the Tathagata said, all Dharma or everything is Buddha Dharma. There is no such thing that is not Buddha Dharma. Everything is Buddha Dharma. So this is very broad. So he did not limit Buddha Dharma. So everything is Buddha Dharma. So in my opinion, Jesus Christ is also Buddha Dharma. The Virgin Mary or Mother Mary is also Buddha Dharma. The Al-Quran is also Buddha Dharma. And the teachings of Confucius were also Buddha Dharma. Something fell. You got scared. spiritual sign.
你知道孔子啊，在那个伏击的那一派叫做什么？
You know, 孔子 in the sect called Fuji. What is that called?
至圣先师心如天尊。
至圣先师天路。
至圣先师，孔子
the prophet. 至圣先师。
孟子讲的道理。
This venerable.
真善讲的道理也是佛。
So all the teachings spoken by Confucius, Lao Tzu, and Zhengsan are all Buddha Dharma. So everything is Buddha Dharma. It includes everything. So Sakyamuni Buddha has spoken on it here. The Tathagata said, all Dharma, or everything is Buddha Dharma. Subhuti, the so-called all Dharma, is not all Dharma. They are merely called all Dharma. That linguistic play again, the statement, very simple, you all know. And then he gave an analogy here. Should I talk about it here? It's 5:12, it's about time. Okay, let me continue. Subhuti, take the example of a tall and big human body. Subhuti said, hold on at one, the Tathagata said, a tall and big body is not a big body, it is merely called a big body. What does it mean? What is a big body? Does it mean like someone with a large body? Like for women? 四头 or the lion head, the nickname. Please stand up to show. Anyone taller than she is? Anyone here? Anyone taller than she is? Please stand up. Wow. So, why don't you both stand next to each other and see? Here. About the same. Like play mahjong. Okay, please be seated. You both have big body. So this refers to everything tangible. Oh, everything tangible is not considered. It does not include everything tangible. The Tathagata said, all Dharma, everything is Buddha Dharma. Subhuti, the so-called all Dharma is not all Dharma. They are merely called all Dharma. Subhuti, take the example of a large human body. Subhuti said, hold on at one. The Tathagata said, the large body is not a big body. It is merely called a big body. So the tall ones, and we are the short ones. Of course, we are like the small vehicle, and they're the large vehicle. So small or large are just due to comparison. But in Buddha Dharma, and furthermore in the Buddha nature, there is no differentiation between large and small. So it's said here, A big body is not big body. It is merely called a big body. Yes, you're rather tall. You're a big body, but compared to the emptiness, they're all equal. They're all the same. That's what it means. Everything is equal. So my explanation is rather different from other people's, right? So Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, and Siddhikar Bodhisattva, and myself so said that what you explained on Saturday would confuse people even more because it is unspeakable, cannot be spoken. Why it cannot be spoken? Because it seems real and unreal. So it seems that it exists, but it also not exists. Like the real me also seems to exist and seems to not exist. The real Buddha nature too seems to be there and seems to not be there. It's hard to talk about it. Impossible to talk about it. So large and small vehicles are just by comparison. If you don't compare, there's no such thing as called as a big body or small body. No big and small body, not vehicle. So that's the realm of the intangibles. Oh, that's the realms of the tangibles. So yesterday also told me about this sentence. A grain of sand of the Ganges River. And then you say the grain of sand represents the Ganges River. Of course not. Then how can you describe Ganges River? It's hard. It's impossible. And you take a little bit of the water of Ganges River and you say, this is Ganges River. No, it's not. You cannot put it into words. Now do you understand? What is bodhicitta? What is Tao or the way? What is Buddha nature? There are many analogies that Sakyamuni Buddha used. And last night, Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, and Siddhikar Bodhisattva also told me, you use yourself as an analogy. Who are you really? Think about it. Who am I? There is no one thing that can represent you. Om Mani Padme Hum.